In the reigns of a world at war, one name stands above or as a symbol of destruction and tyranny: Adolf Hitler. A man whose ambitions reshaped nations, whose ideology cost millions of lives, and whose legacy remains a warning to the world. This is the story of how an ordinary boy from Austria became one of history's most famous figures. The rise, rule, and reign of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889 in Braunau, a small Austrian town near the German border. He was the fourth of six children born to Alois Hitler, a strict customs officer, and Klara Hitler, a gentle and loving mother. As a child, Adolf was shy but also stubborn. He admired German nationalism even as a boy living in Austria. His dream was to become an artist. Twice he applied to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, and twice he was rejected. Struggling in poverty, he wandered the streets of Vienna selling paintings and postcards. There, he encountered ideas that would later become his thinking: German nationalism, antisemitism, and social Darwinism. Vienna became his classroom not for art, but for the ideology. When World War I broke out in 1914, Hitler saw it as a chance to prove his worth. He volunteered for the German army, serving as a messenger on the Western Front. The war gave him purpose, discipline, camaraderie, and a cause. But it also left him wounded, physically and emotionally. Hitler was twice decorated for bravery, but when Germany surrendered in 1918, he was devastated. He believed that army had been stabbed in the back, betrayed by politicians, communists, and Jews. This myth of betrayal would become the foundation of his hatred and future propaganda. After the war, Germany was in chaos, defeated, humiliated, and economically broken. In Munich, Hitler joined a small political group called the German Workers' Party. Through fiery speeches filled with anger and nationalism, he quickly became its leading voice. The party was soon named the National Socialist Germany's Workers' Party, or Nazi Party. Hitler's charisma, oratory, and use of propaganda drew thousands. In 1923, he attempted to seize power in the Beer Hall Putsch, an armed uprising in Munich. It failed miserably. Hitler was arrested and sentenced to prison, but his trial made him famous. During his months in Landsberg prison, Hitler dictated a book called the Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. In it, he laid out his vision for Germany's future: a racist ideology built on Aryan superiority, hatred of Jews, and the goal of expanding German territory, a concept called Lebensraum, or living space. Though the book sold poor at first, its ideas became the blueprint for the Nazi movement. After his release, Hitler recognized the Nazi Party using propaganda, symbols, and rallies to attract followers. He understood the power of spectacle: the flags, the uniforms, the slogans, all designed to stir emotion and loyalty. Then came the Great Depression. Millions of Germans lost their jobs, factories closed, depression filled the street. Hitler offered a simple answer, blaming the Jews, communists, and the Treaty of Versailles. His promise to restore German pride won the hearts of many, By 1932, the Nazi Party became the largest in the German parliament, and on January 30, 1933, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Hitler as the Chancellor of Germany. Within months, democracy was destroyed. The Reichstag fire gave him the excuse to crush opponents. The Neighboring Act gave him absolute power. Germany had fallen into the hands of a dictator. Once in control, Hitler wasted no time reshaping German society. He banned other political parties, controlled the press, and filled concentration camps with political prisoners. He created the Gestapo, a secret police force to silence dissent. The Nuremberg Laws of 1935 stripped Jews of their right and citizenship. Propaganda Minister Joseph Goebbels turned Hitler into a national idol. The Führer, the leader destined to restore greatness. By the 1930s, Hitler rebuilt the military, violating the Treaty of Versailles. He annexed Austria, seized Czechoslovakia, and prepared for more. The world watched and stated. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler's army invaded Poland. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war. The Second World War had begun. Hitler's Blitzkrieg lightning war overwhelmed Europe. In 2 years, most of the continent was under Nazi control, but behind the front lines, a darker war was unfolding. The Nazis built ghettos, concentration camps, and extermination centers. Millions of Jews, along with Roma, Poles, Soviet prisoners, and others, were systematically murdered in what became known as the Holocaust. By 1943, the tide began to turn. Defeats at Stalingrad and Normandy shattered Hitler's dreams of conquest. The Allied forces crossed in from all sides. In April 1945, Soviet troops surrounded Berlin. Hitler retreated to his underground bunker beneath the Reich Chancellery. As the Third Reich crumbled above him, he married his longtime companion Eva Braun. On April 30, 1945, Adolf Hitler took his own life. His body was burned as the Soviet army entered the city. Germany surrendered soon after the war had claimed over 7 million lives, including 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust. The world finally saw the full horror of his rule. The death of Adolf Hitler didn't erase the pain he caused, nor the scars he left on humanity. His story remains a warning of how hatred, propaganda, and blind obedience can destroy nations. Today, museums, memorials, and educators keep the memory of his victims alive, not to relive the past, but to prevent its return. Adolf Hitler promised greatness but delivered ruin. His rise and fall remind us that the fight against tyranny, racism, and hate never ends. His story remembers so that humanity never forgets. Fade out, somber music, and so on. So, thank you. Me, I'm called Adolf. We'll meet again. So please subscribe to this channel of Dolph Media so that you will be attracting with this video, and also you will following me, and also I am requesting you to like this video in order to reach to other people who are in need of this video. So thanks. God may protect you.